The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. I'm murderous. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Broadcasting live from ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here within the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, I'm a member of the local Catholic Christian community. I welcome everybody who can hear me here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and around the world. Well, we heard about the shooting that took place yesterday at St. Joseph Catholic Church Parish on Bird Road, where St. Francis and St. Joseph Primary School is located. We heard what took place, and of course, I told you how upset I was yesterday when I received intelligence report of the shooting at the school and church campus. Well, the news have been reporting. But you know what kind of Negro I am? My clock is off. You know what kind of Negro I am? I do investigative journalism. And I have vested interest because my granddaughter is a student. I'm praying over it because I wonder if I should tell you my finding, because I am faithful and loyal to the Bahamas. And so I've asked my colleagues to go on the ground so I can see what this is, because I find it shocking that a Negro man can go on a school, church campus and open fire on a Negro parent. I should also tell you that I went undercover. I think I'm repeating myself, to take a look at what it is, because Negroes are involved. And when you see Negro political leadership and Negro police leadership, you better check for yourself, because these are a bunch of incompetent Negroes, and the next thing you know, you got whole children killed. So I went undercover in addition to my colleagues. I went undercover early this morning as the school came in to session to see what I could see. And I may or may not tell you what I saw. But whatever it was extremely depressing. But I was happy today when I arrived at the school that I observed. It was as if every parent decided to come to pick up their children. Remember what I just said, the clock is off. I'm distracted telling you the clock is off. And so I'm still playing in my mind as to whether or not I ought to tell you what my finding is. I listening to the police, because the police has proven, particularly under Marvin Dames' leadership, incompetent. All right? So I ain't depending on them, because we have plenty vested interest in it. So I haven't made up my mind. I have not made up my mind whether I will tell the public what my finding is, but by grab, I got a finding, and I'll think about it This is Freedom March. The Negroes can't keep primary schools safe. In trouble.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker, and praise the Lord, I see signs of my spiritual advisor appearing. Well, folks, you would recall that yesterday I drew to your attention a statement which the Minister of Health, Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands, made in the Honorable House of Assembly as it relates to over or perhaps 100 confirmed cases of tuberculosis on the island of Freedom, Eleuthera. And then he went on further to tell the Parliament that there were also 15 confirmed cases of tuberculosis on the island of Exuma. Well, if you were reading today's newspaper, there is a report of at least one student being confirmed positively with tuberculosis. I want the people in my immediate neighborhood to take note of that in view of the fact that I have seen in the neighborhood a number of R.M. Bailey students. I'm not trying to discriminate against them, but I want you to know that there is this information which I shall read to you. And it means then that when we are aware of a school that has at least a student reportedly to have tuberculosis, we all have to be vigilant. So I'm going to read it, okay? Health officials are reporting another TB case, this time at R.M. Bailey School. The patient is a student. Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands on Wednesday raised concerns about the growing number of new cases of tuberculosis on Eleuthera. I have recently returned from Eleuthera, where we have started focused screening of the residents, he said in the House of Assembly. We have started in Eleuthera because from 2012, the surveillance unit has documented a gradual increase in cases on the island. The last time the FNM was in power, scores of persons died following severe cases of dengue, which left Bahamians laying all across the emergency room sections of PMH. What does that room looks like now? I'm reading from a statement from Bahama Press. Well, my principal concern is that I've been blessed to speak with quite a number of senior people in the X-ray department of the Princess Margaret Hospital. It was as if it was a blessing when I last visited, as the staff, looking around and behind their backs, recognizing that the FNM is a mean and spiteful government, pulled me on the side and provided the necessary intelligence. I told you yesterday that I'm concerned over the reports of the outbreak in view of the fact that the X-ray machine is not working efficiently. Now, I'm no expert, but I rely on the integrity of the people them who are working in the X-ray. So, to my neighborhood, I just told you of the report of a new case of tuberculosis in Arambili. That is not to say that you ought to discriminate, but once you find a particular community being identified, well, and they're coming into your community to see your children and so forth, you have to be wise. That's what I think. And you be wise in a very responsible and humane manner. Frankie Campbell, the minister responsible for transport, is on my mind because I'm being supplied with too much intelligence in which his name continue to come up. I only wish that I had a wonderful relationship with my party, the FNM, so I could pass intelligence to them. Unfortunately, the relationship does not exist, so I can't tell the party quietly to watch out for Frankie and his mismanagement in leadership. Frankie Campbell, as you are aware, is the minister who has responsibility for the dogdom, okay? And with his eyes wide open, there are certain illegal things taking place here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas on many of these small islands, these keys, which I submit is contrary to law. I also submit that these things could only be taking place because the Free National Movement, as a party and a government, is obviously corrupt. It's obviously a gangster political party. Now, you would say I'm being harsh, so let me explain to you what I mean by that. If a party knows that something is happening that is unlawful and they do not exercise their political and legal power to stop it, then they are gangsters. You see how easy it is for one to become a gangster? Let me repeat it one more time. Why and how do I call my party, the FNM, a gangster party? If the party, while holding government, is aware of things taking place within the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that is unlawful, and the party look elsewhere, then the party becomes a gangster party. You understand my point? So that is how the FNM manifests its gangsterism, by failing to do what they should do in accordance with the law and in the interests of the Bahamian people. So let me look at this piece of intelligence. Please forgive me, because the intelligence is so sophisticatedly written that me, as a layman, it is taking a long, long time for me to comprehend. But praise the Lord, at least I'm able to identify gangsterism in the intelligence. Now, the DOC committee falls under the purview of the minister, Frankie Campbell. And as we told you, that he's Minister of Transport, and through the Port Department, however, the committee has members from BESS, Commission, and Lands and Survey. And this is an example of how easy it is to rape the Bahamian people and steal their heritage. These people that this DOC committee that they're dealing with are billionaires. All they got is money. When you see them, according to my intelligence report, you could smell the money. And once you smell the money, if you're not saved and sanctified and washed in the blood, you succumb. All right? Now, I'm not suggesting that any particular person has succumbed, but based on my people within the islands, They're saying strange things taking place. They're saying things. When they told me that they were saying things, I knew these were good people. Not only were they saying things, they're hearing things. They see things of corruption, and they are hearing the songs of corruption. That's what's going on. Who is allowing these people to bring dredging equipment on some of these islands? Huh? Watch what is happening here. We have borrowed over $35 million, which is designed to protect the coastal area of these islands. But notwithstanding that $35 million has been borrowed, my Negro government and many of the gangsters who are invisible in the government, whose identity has been hidden in what I call the black spirit of the country, they are allowing these foreign Americans to destroy the environment. And we're talking about areas where there are lots of mangrove. You know the mangrove? That is a habitat, a place where a variety of marine life lives. And, and they are destroying it. There's all kind of algae that goes to these marine mangrove for the purposes of reproduction and mating. All right? But what is happening? Because the foreign Americans got plenty money, got color, got curly hair, and one or two bald heads, the government is looking elsewhere. And don't forget what Marvin Dame's principle is. Marvin Dames, notwithstanding that his first cousin Juan Ria disagree. Juan Ria, you could further disagree, all right? But what are the facts? These are the facts. Marvin has already told us that if you want to avoid the government getting in corruption, you got to give them little extra wages, all right? Well, Marvin, the corruption is taking place, and I need you to help me in telling the government to stop it. You see, in the Berry Islands, there is about 70 square miles in the area, and it encompasses all or some of these keys: Crab Key, Fowl Key, Chub Key, Fraser's Hog Key. I think that's where you all get hog heart from. Fraser Hog Key. And notwithstanding, we also got Diamond Rock, Bird Key, Cat Key, Big Whale Key, Golden Key, Pigeon Key, and Vigilant Key. All right? What are they doing? They are allowing these foreigners to destroy the natural habitat. That is what is taking place. And this F&M party shall go down in history as key killers. Never heard about that? They are murderers. They're killing the keys. That's what they're doing. And if I could put them on trial, I would charge Frankie, being concerned together with members of the cabinet, of murdering Crab Key, stabbing Fowler Key, raping Chub Key, and Fraser Hog Key. That's what's going on here. You all are nothing but a bunch of key haters. I'm looking for a key lover. And even though we have a key named Vigilant Key, when they go on Vigilant Key, they're not vigilant. Man, it's amazing. Oh, it's amazing. I only wish I could find some other people to run this country, because my Negro party, they're nothing but a bunch of murderers. All right? They just killed the key. Can you imagine? I got to repeat it again. Can you imagine that they're trying to kill Crab Key? Huh? Can you imagine it? Fowl Key, Chub Key, Fraser's Hog Key, Diamond Rock. I mean, Diamond Rock. Y'all Negroes so stupid. Huh? To have a key named Diamond Rock. And you know diamonds are forever. And look what they're trying to do with diamond. Look what they're trying to do with diamond. But y'all could further do it. I got the intelligence. And one day, I'm going to prosecute y'all. Okay? Who should I charge with raping the key? And then, of course, there are several hundred acres of black and red mangrove shrub. Okay? Wetlands. The wetlands. Wetlands are very important for the ecology. Very important. But y'all stupid Negroes, y'all don't recognize it. Huh? So you're letting these foreign white people destroy the mangrove. Huh? The wetland. Y'all stupid? Man, y'all stupid. But God, please forgive me for calling my people stupid. Lord, forgive me. For I know it is a sin, but they tempting me. Huh? Why y'all doing that, man? Why y'all doing that? Why y'all allowing these people to dredge when we just borrowed $35 million to save the coastal region? Anyway, I'm further convinced now that Dr. Minnis, he's not safe. Brent Simonet, he's not safe. Frankie Campbell might be half safe. And of course, none of y'all. Y'all are all a bunch of key killers and key rapers. That's what y'all are. Y'all nothing but a bunch of picky teeth Montobi. Y'all only playing government. Y'all ain't understand that after over 400 years of slavery, we, the African descendants of the slaves, we have become the inheritors of over 700 islands, 2,000 rocks and keys, and 100,000 square miles of ocean. And what are y'all doing with it? Huh? Y'all are destroying it with your stupid self. God forgive me for saying that. But these are stupid. Y'all are perhaps the most stupidest Negroes in the modern Bahamas. God forgive me for calling my Negro people stupid. But Lord, you know, by their actions, I could call them nothing else but a bunch of stupid, stupid Negro leaders. Oh, I see them in a black cloud, and I can see them in a black spirit. These are some of the most dumbest Negro. Look what you're selling us out for. Goodness of mercy. Have mercy, Lord. Have mercy on my Negro people. Lord, have mercy.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. When I took the adjournment a few minutes ago, I was cursing out the government over how they are allowing foreign investors to just mess up these keys. And I also pointed out to you that the minister responsible for transport and the marine is Minister Frankie Campbell, and how all these things are taking place under his ministry. And so I want to just add something from an article written by a member of my church, Notario McKenzie. He's a member of St. Joseph Roman Catholic Church. I just want to read it because I think places like Andros Island and them people at Long Island ought to know that the FNM is a selfish party. The American Development Bank announced it had approved or has approved $35 million loan to enhance the Bahamas' resilience to coastal risk. The program will finance shoreline stabilization and coastal flooding control measures on Grand Bahama, Central Long Island, and New Providence. Very important for these islands to take note of what I am saying. And fund natural infrastructure for hazard resilience through the restoration of natural habitats on Andros. It will also support institutional strengthening of the Bahamas coastal risk management efforts. The IDB's Bahamas country representative Maria Florencia Atademo Hurt said, quote, that project seeks to rethink the way the Bahamas deals with coastal infrastructure. One of the 5 sites identified in that project is in Long Island. Long Island, listen! Because you see what they did to Long Island? When that boat run aground, Minnis pussyfooted. And what the man named Frankie, his pussyfoot was bigger than Minnis's pussyfoot. Because Minnis contacted a Negro man who told Minnis what to do. And they pussyfooted until that boat broke up against the sea wall. And everything spilled over. And there was one major cover-up and lies. But y'all will know one day when you eat these contaminated food and so forth, and then you start dying. I'm not being wishful thinking. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. But when it comes to the environment, always watch how your government deals with it. And they never dealt with it efficiently. And all them things spill over in the sea. You hear me? So it's important for Long Island. All right? So they've identified a project in Long Island. Basically, it will use data to build your next sea wall. For instance, our team went to Long Island and met with the community, look at some of the needs, and pre-identified the site that requires infrastructure investment, which will be done in, hopefully, a new way of adding data to whatever we build so that it is more resilient to climate change. Let me read that again. Which will be done, hopefully, a new way of adding data to whatever we build so that it is more resilient to climate change. According to the IDB, $23.5 million will be used to increase resilience to coastal hazards through science-based shoreline stabilization and coastal flooding control measures coupled with sustainable rehabilitation of adjacent critical public infrastructure at 3 sites in East Grand Bahama, Central Long Island, Nassau, Junkanoo Beach, and then some $3 million is being allocated to enhance the resilience of Andros communities to coastal hazard and climate-related impact through implementation of pilot projects that demonstrate the effectiveness of natural habitat restoration for coastal protection in line with the island's master plan. Then there's another $3.5 million will fund the institutional strengthening of the Bahamas Ministry of Public Works and Partners for Coastal Risk Management and integrated planning activities. And the bank loan is for a 24-year term, including a 6.5-year grace period at a LIBOR-based interest rate. I don't know what LIBOR means, but that's what it says. I just want you all to understand what is taking place, because I'm bombarded by experts who come to me in secret to say to me, Moncur, they are just jacking up the place, and they're allowing these rich Americans. Some days they have them allow them to rape the whole sea. Can you imagine that? They rape the sea, take all the fish, take the lobster, take the things like that. But these Negroes, with their stupid self, give them unlawful license to do it. Anyway, experts are trying, Are trying. But I'm up against these greedy Negro leaders. My clock is off again, so that you may know that it is off. Well, Fred Smith, the Haitian Bahamian, the noted QC, is in the newspaper again. This time, he is angry with Minnis and the FNM. And he compares Minnis with Fred Mitchell. In fact, he argues that Minnis is worse than Fred Mitchell. And then he throws lowness. He throws lowness at Minnis and the FNM. He says he spent all of his money to get them elected. Now look what they're doing. And then finally, having gotten what he asked for, he now is like what the man named whose wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. He is like Lot's wife. Having voted for the FNM, he now is having second thoughts. And I think it is very important to take note. I want to warn him. He has to be careful of Fred Mitchell. I'm going to say something that is strange. Be careful of Fred Mitchell. There was a man by the name of Miles Monroe. Fred Mitchell didn't do Miles Monroe anything. Miles Monroe got up in his diplomatic center and he began to curse out Fred Mitchell. And Fred began to resist. And as Fred resists, there emerged a spiritual battle between Miles Monroe and Fred Mitchell. Be careful. And when it was all over, Fred told Miles Monroe that my God was greater than your God. When it was over, Miles Monroe, who Fred Mitchell didn't do anything to, Miles Monroe, that Fred Mitchell did not pick a fight with. When it was over, I was left devastated. And that is as far as I will say. Because I am convinced that the God that Fred Mitchell served was greater than the God that Miles Monroe served. So you better be careful. Go after Fred with clean hearts and a pure heart, because I saw him in a spiritual battle. In a spiritual battle, because I see things. Everybody know in the country now. I see things. I hear things. I know things. When it was over, Miles Monroe is gone. And may God rest his soul. So those who wish to wage a spiritual battle with Fred Mitchell, I say, blessed are the peacemakers. That's all I'm going to say. That is all that I'm going to see. Because remember, I see things. I hear things. I know things. And there are times when I'm able to go off. Not going off today. But in fairness to Fred Smith, I have to address it. Because Fred is Haitian and I'm Haitian. And I have to always make sure that the interests of my people, the Haitian people, are being protected. Fred Smith says that the FNM is unlawfully detaining children. I want the FNM to stop it. If you all are unlawfully holding children in custody, I want you all to release these children. Y'all stop it. All right? I want you all to stop it. The Bahamas activist group demands, that's Fred Smith, the release of toddlers. He wants the toddlers to be released. What the FNM doing locking a baby for? That's what Fred says. He calls for aggressive officers to be restrained. He urges the state, that's the Bahamas government, to urgently revoke deadline for expulsion of undocumented migrants. Right Bahamas, that's Fred Smith new group, demands the immediate release of 2 young children, ages 5 and 2, who were detained this morning doing yet another illegal immigration raid on a Haitian community in Cowpen Road, New Providence. Both children were born in the Bahamas and as such have a constitutional right to be registered as citizens upon application after their 18th birthday. They are not citizens of Haiti, and arbitrarily deporting them to that country will effectively deny them of their rights and, under certain circumstances, could place them at risk of statelessness. That's what Fred Smith is saying. The toddlers and their mother are among 175 individuals that the Immigration Department admits have been detained this week alone. For now, we are withholding their identities to protect the children. However, their names have been communicated to senior immigration officials. Following the Cowpen Road raid, we understand that armed officers in military fatigues then descended upon a nearby church frequented by members of the Haitian Bahamian community. There have been multiple claims of physical abuse by immigration officers during the raids, and we urgently call upon Immigration Director William Pratt to restrain his officers in order to prevent any further violence against defenseless individuals, particularly women and children. Fred Smith Group, Right Bahamas, demands that all those detained be immediately screened to ensure that there are no other minors among them who have a constitutional right to be in the Bahamas, and also no adults who may have applied for citizenship but constitute part of the backlog of thousands of status cases which the Immigration Department continues to ignore, even as it seeks to expel people from the country in violation of their rights. So that's a statement that I received, that I'm reading. And then, of course, the Tribune. The Tribune headline is, detainees must be taken to court. And then there is a Negro immigration officer by the name of Neely. I can't curse Neely out because I do remember when Neely unraveled for me a mystery. So I'm going to half curse him out. All right? Now, Neely, I want you to be careful how you answer the press. Okay? Stop saying that that's too much people to take to court. That's not a good thing. People are to be taken before a court of law. That kind of arsenality, you must allow the politician to run on with that. But you, as an immigration officer, you are to be guided by the law. Now, tout le monde haïtien, est-ce que c'est vrai, immigration a vini na Carpen Road avec Kembe Timonio? Est-ce que c'est vrai? Ma basement, non, pour moi. Nombre moi, c'est 434-5760. OK? And m'a préparé pour signer affidavit pour dire, Timonio, c'est moi. Ah, it's wonderful, my Negro people. I think I'm going to leave that bit for the time being. My clock is still off, okay? I can't time myself. I think I'm going to leave that for the time being. I think I've run on enough about the immigration situation. And it's so interesting what is taking place because Fred Smith literally spent all this money on the F&M. And he just spent. Now, I'm going to make a suggestion to him. I want him to pull the same dirty trick on Minnis that he continues to pull on Fred Mitchell. Fred Smith have been taking out quietly a lot of anti-Fred Mitchell advertisement in the newspaper. And he just cursed Fred Mitchell out like once a month. I've noticed that for the last 2 months, he must have run out of money. There's been nothing there. But I'd like for you now to take out some ads on Minnis, the Prime Minister. And I want you to do it bilingually. You can say, like in English, the Prime Minister is no good. And then in Haitian Creole, I want you to say, the Prime Minister is pas bon. How that sound? All right? And then I want you to also say in English that you want everybody to stand up for their rights. Okay? And then say in Haitian Creole, tout moun yo campe pour droite. Okay? And I think that would be exciting. But you have to just curse out the F&M. Now you regret voting for them, eh? Huh? What kind of QC you are? Who told you? You knew. The only person who believed in the rule of law in the F&M was Papa. When I saw you at Government House smiling with him, I thought the deal was settled. You don't know who Minnis is? Huh? Minnis is a man who has a lot of political problems. Anyway, what time is it, man? You ain't got the clock on. I can't tell the time myself. Boy, I got to put up with all kind of things. These bunch of F&M inside the studio. So Bats need to hire some PLPs. Huh? Goodness. How much more minutes I have? Goodness of mercy. I got to time myself on the watch. So, I'll leave that for the time being. But Frankie, you better be careful. You in charge of the dock committee. If you can't run the dock committee, if one Haitian Bahamian can't run it, you might as well let me run it. Might as well. I don't know. Oh boy. I don't know. So, we've left that and now go to the other thingum. The other thingum. I find it interesting that this matter, this is like sociological. Okay? This is sociological. I bring no morality to it other than to bring the law. Carl Bettel, I'm going to talk to you in parable. Okay? Carl Bettel, I'm going to talk to you in parable. You are the Attorney General. All right? So I'm going to talk to you in parable. I don't know if I can talk it. If I'm not able to talk the parable, Carl, we'll go to Haitian Creole. And that Haitian who's advising you in the Attorney General office, you just turn to that person and ask them what it is that I'm saying. Now, in the newspaper, we see that a former policeman was charged, apparently, with doing things. In Haitian Creole, sex is called do things, fait bagay. All right? That's how the Haitian deals with it, right? My spiritual advisor, don't do that, okay? He's in the studio, all right? And the former police officer apparently was, let me not say it right. Former police officer Edmund E.J. Lewis Jr., who was accused of producing child porn videos between 2016 and 2015, has been given a conditional discharge of 2 years after being found guilty on 1 count of child pornography. Now, I want young people not to be offended. I'm old now. And now that I'm old, there are things that I did not demand when I was young, because I was young. But now that I'm old, I'm demanding it. And please don't be offended, because when you all are old and have children and grandchildren, perhaps you all would defend it. I've always said in close political cycles that the age of consent should be like 25 years. But the people said I was crazy. I said to it, let there be the age of consent at 25. Anybody under 25 will have to get permission from their parents. He said I was crazy. Now, it used to be 14. They brought it up to 16. So the age of consent is 16. Now, they are saying that you can give consent at age 16, but at age 16, you can't give consent to film it. It seems to be stupid. If a person can give consent at 16, why are they being prevented at 16 from filming? I'm only talking law now. I'm not getting into the immorality. Because personally, if it was left up to me, all the young people would have to get consent from their parents. And who didn't get consent, we'd beat them. But they're going to say, he's crazy. Now, Carl and Dawes stood by because they were young. And they agreed for sexual consent to be at 16. But I used to tell them, 16 was too young. Raise it to 25. Now, he say he's going to appeal. Carl, Code 3, remember. You remember? Carl, do you remember when you stood in the Honorable House of Assembly and they throw scud at you and you throw a certain scud designed to undermine their scud if they spoke about your scud? Oh, it's so interesting. But I'm going to leave it just like that, you know. Let us raise the age of consent. And anybody who's under that age, they got to get permission from the ma and the pa. How that sound? I know the young people would not agree with that. Tout le monde haïtien, yo gen un pile problem na office général avocat. Avocat dit, police la pa ansa. Le li fe bagay yon femme. I fe bagay yon femme. Le yo fini fe bagay. Yo create movie. Yo create movie. C'est pas possible pour moi pour parler bonbon aujourd'hui parce que Timona and the studio. Okay? So that is what is taking place. This is
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker, and praise the Lord, my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is here in the house with me. Bradley, what have you been doing up and down the country?
Map travail en pile jodi, garçon.
Really?
En pile travail.
Okay.
Map fatigué.
Really?
Vous entendez?
Wow, this is powerful. This is powerful. My spiritual advisor in a strange tongue say he's worked hard today and he is tired.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I salute all the women them at National Insurance Fox Hill. Listen, y'all just work hard. Man, I was impressed with y'all. And I just love how y'all answer all them complex questions for me. Now listen here. I don't want y'all to do it because I on this man TV. All right? I want y'all to do what you did for me today for all the people them who comes to National Insurance. Okay? So I salute y'all and I thank God that in National Insurance I met some of the man them and I met a lot of the woman them. And when I see Brensel rule, the minister responsible, I shall tell him that y'all work so hard, he should ignore a raise and give it to y'all. This is powerful. My spiritual advisor, before we look at some of the texts and take calls, I want to look at an article in the Tribune, which is on page 6 of the day's Tribune. It says, the scene of the crash yesterday morning, several hurt as car and prison bus collided.
Oh, wow.
An early morning collision between two motorists and a small prison bus sent several people to hospital for treatment of minor injuries. The small white Mitsubishi L300 bus operated by the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. You see how long that word is? They mean a Majesty prison, man. That's too long. I ain't calling that word no more. Was traveling west along the Eastern Road when it collided with another car traveling east near Dix Point. Assistant Superintendent Craig Stubbs said, ASP Stubbs, officer in charge of the traffic department, said, or should I say the traffic division, said the car careened off of a wall after impact and then collided with another vehicle. He said the incident occurred shortly before 9 a.m., but gave limited details. 2 inmates were being transferred to PMH, and the officer had minor injuries, he said. Emergency medical services carried the female officer and the others drove themselves. The cars, all 3, have significant damage. The first car sustained significant front and right and damage. Let me read that again. The first car sustained significant front and right end damage. And the bus itself received significant damage to its front and partial right side. All 3 cars were towed from the scene, ASP Stubbs said. It is not clear what circumstances led to the collision at this time, and an investigation is ongoing. I'll stop there. I first rode on a prison bus as an inmate. They locked me up. They always treat me bad. So on the 4th of April, 2018, I was remanded to Her Majesty's prison. And as they escorted me, with my 2 hands chained on my legs, I reached to a big yellow bus, and I wondered how the heck they expect for me to get in the bus if my 2 legs were chained. But praise the Lord, there were younger prison inmates who knew how to do the chain leg jump. I told them I couldn't do it. I was old, so they told me, hold on, and they helped me up. It was the best ride I've ever had in my life. There was an officer who was riding this bus, big yellow bus, and he had a cigar in the left side of his mouth. Man, he could ride. I think he's a policeman, Officer Gray. As he drove that big bus, I thought at one point that he would hit the lamp pole, but he was always able to get between the lamp pole and whatever space was there. And what overcome me with that ride, I felt joys, thrills running down my legs. It was a wonderful ride. Man, I yearned for another ride like that if he is the driver. And there were many times I thought he would crash, but he had good brakes and good driving skills. I'm certain that Officer Gray was not in that van because he don't back up. All right? One day, should he back up, it would be like terrorism. So I just thought I had to say how I enjoy that ride. The only concern was they had me handcuffed. And every now and then, as I stood up to see the surrounding, he would shout out, "Monica, sit down." I said, now, why is he showing off? All these prisoners in this bus looking, he would call my name. But it was a wonderful ride, and I yearned for another ride on that bus, hopefully as the superintendent of the prison. My spiritual advisor, you have some text?
Yeah, I got some
I run
text.
on to get you prepared. Read some text.
Yeah.
Open the line. May the Negroes call me, and may the Conky Joe call me. And while we are doing that, there was a Conky Joe man by the name of Caleb Whitfield Curry Jr. He was born October 18, 1925, here in Nassau, Bahamas. He is the son of Caleb Curry Sr. I almost got the impression that his father was a priest, but I'm not sure. And his mother was Kathleen Curry. And he, for a number of years, served as the acting colonial secretary. And there were occasions when Mr. Curry also served as governor on the colony. And it is interesting to note that notwithstanding that he acted as colonial secretary and governor of the Bahamas, as recent as October 20th, 1960, he has not been treated well in our history. It is as if history did not record that information. And I think it's unfair to his family, who have been decent citizens and who now live in some of our family islands. So I am doing an investigation into the life of Caleb Whitfield Curry Jr., born October 8, 1925, and served as acting colonial secretary and governor of the Bahamas. I got a picture, and at some point, perhaps next week, I'll come back to this, and I'll show you his photograph. My spiritual advisor, get ready. I'm going to take my first call.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to Freedom Match.
Praise speak to the spiritual advisor, please?
My spiritual advisor
Hey,
is here.
good afternoon. How you doing?
Right here.
Great.
Doing
great.
all right, eh?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Yeah, I want to tell you something.
Mhm.
The only people who go into heaven is the one who got a seal in the forehead.
Pardon me?
The only people who go into heaven who got a seal in the forehead, who keep God's commandments, and have the faith of Jesus Christ.
Okay, where do you find that?
Satan marked his people in the forehead and the hand. They're the people who worship on Sunday. Integrate. No Sunday people is
all
going
right.
to heaven.
Okay, so
No example. Let me get an example, then I give it back. I need one more.
Mhm.
Mark 7, verses 7 to 9, told you that God said, you reject my commandments, and you reject my commandments, and you do it, and you worship on your tradition. And God said, Jesus says, if you love me, keep my commandments. That's it.
listen, obviously me and you need to talk. Why don't you take my number so we can discuss that?
Huh?
Why don't you take my number so we can discuss this off air? You want to take my number?
Well, I put it to the people in the Bahamas, not you.
Yeah, but I don't want you to give the people of the Bahamas
Huh?
I don't want you to give the people of the Bahamas false information because
Say whatever.
I don't want you to misinform our people about what the Bible teaches. So
It is the Bible. I don't talk against the Bible. The Bible got that.
yeah.
But I told you 2 months ago to read Revelation 2.
Yeah, listen.
Huh?
The producer's going to put you on hold and give you my number, okay? So we can talk off air. All right?
My spiritual advisor, do you have a text?
Listen, I need to correct something. Apparently, you're receiving a lot of backlash for a statement you may have made concerning Dr. Miles Monroe. A lot of people are concerned about something that you said in regards to either Fred Mitchell and Dr. Miles Monroe. What did you say? Because apparently
I said
receiving
that
heavy
there was a spiritual battle between Fred Mitchell and Miles Monroe, in which Miles Monroe picked a fight with Fred. And him and Fred...
You sure it was a fight, Dr. Miles Monroe?
I thought you were asking me
go
an
ahead.
explanation.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Let's take the next phone call.
Finish it off.
Good
That's
afternoon.
okay. Hello, my dear. Welcome to Freedom Match.
Hello, how are you all both today?
We're doing great. We're doing great.
Okay, Mr. Monker and Mr. Roll, I tried to get through yesterday. There's 2 things I would like to touch on briefly. One, the lady who called yesterday and alluded to the fact that Mr. Monker was now attacking Mr. Campbell, but when he was serving as a police officer and these other things he did that nobody checked into his nationality then.
Yes.
And then she went on to say that Mr. Monker should educate himself rather than attacking Candia and Marvin.
Yes.
Now, I'd like to say, after having followed Mr. Monker for quite a number of years, there are very few persons in this country who I consider to be more intelligent than him, or have as much intelligence as him.
I thank you.
Mr. Monker may not have gone to university, but trust me, he has common sense as first and foremost, and he's a very well-read person. When he comes on the show, you can tell that he has done research. So, I don't want them to knock him because of the fact that he didn't go to college, because in this country we have many persons who are educated, Palm Sunday Cadillacs. Okay? So we don't need to equate his intelligence with whether or not he went to college. But on another note, gentlemen, so often we talk about young people in this country and all the negative things. And a couple of weeks ago when a video went viral with the school children at H.O. Natch, everybody was talking about it. But I saw something this morning, and everybody who I spoke to said it brought tears to their eyes. I don't know if you saw it, but there's a video circulating with some students at C.V. Bethel. And it's a very positive story because in it, it shows these young people. And first, here again, when I shared it with somebody this morning, the first thing they said, right now they're trying to get locked out of this class, etc., etc. And I said, no, watch the whole thing. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw
but there
it.
were some students who sang to a teacher.
I saw
and
it.
the teacher stood there and she cried. And I said, obviously, this teacher probably is going through something. And those students sang to her, what was it? This too shall pass. It's very touching. Gentlemen, I don't know if you've seen it, but
I've
you
seen
need
it.
to to
saw
watch it. And I told people, let us gossip that. Let us highlight these young people. They need to be commended.
I expected when I saw it a statement from the minister, because
Commending these children, right?
yeah, because when he saw what he called twerking, it appeared to me as if he was possessed by the devil. But here is goodness.
Good things. But you see, and
these
here they may
Negroes
not be
ignore
not
it.
promoting the positive things for these young people.
Yes.
They need to be commended.
Yeah, they can
Yes.
sing. Those two girls can sing.
You saw
Yes,
it too, my
so-
spiritual
yeah,
advisor.
I saw it.
Thank
I saw
you
it.
all very
Beautiful.
much for giving me this time.
Absolutely.
God bless you all. I want us all to be safe this weekend, and God
Absolutely.
save the Queen.
God
too.
save the
Take
Queen,
care.
and I thank you for putting in those kind words for me. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
A very pleasant evening.
Good
Yes,
evening.
sir. How are you?
Happy day, Senator,
God save the Queen.
and a happy day holiday to our Bahamas.
Thank you.
I,
What
Mr.
holiday?
Senator,
What
and,
holiday are we celebrating?
spiritual
here?
leader.
Yes.
I looked in the Tribune yesterday, and I saw time to honor our nation heroes. And when you look and you read on page 12 in yesterday's Tribune,
Page 12.
they have 3 entertainers there that we need to honor. But
What are their
when,
names?
when
Give me
you
their
look
names.
at this whole Bahamas,
Listen to me. Give me their names.
right now they said Ronnie Butler, and they have Fred Ferguson, Fred Munnings. But where's Blind Blake when the tourists used to come into Bahamas, and Blind Blake was at the airport receiving those tourists? And when my father was in the Bahamas in the 1947, Sweet Richard, and he went over in the States and bring back the people on the Bahamas style, the SS Florida and the Yamat Castle, he brought them and carried them down on Western Esmeralda, and he serenaded them and up to 5 o'clock, and we carried them back to the boat and put them on the ship. Where is Sweet Richard today as an honor as 1947 when he was one of the mentors on Bay Street, that I have some over 100 pictures with him on Bay Street and a movie with him
Wow.
that nobody has in the Bahamas.
Do you still have
Where's
those?
Sweetie been here for 58 years?
Wow.
I'm still living. I've been in the room 5 years paralyzed. I'm still in the room as I speak to you and I watch you, but what is they doing for Sweetie as I still living now?
Sweetie?
And nobody knows where Sweetie is.
Sweetie,
The Jungle Committee don't know.
Sweetie.
The entertainers don't know. We need to do for the people back of yesteryear, honor them now, because who they honor now is the young people who are up today. Let's go back to Smokey 007.
but you can't.
Jay Mitchell.
But you
they are
Sweetie.
our heroes. Bring them back and let us make like this Bahamas one.
Sweetie, may I reply to you? Sweetie,
Sweet tea.
sweet tea.
Yes, I'm with you.
Certainly you can't call Ronnie Butler young.
No,
I
I'm
must
saying he was
confess
only
that
one.
he has said that age is only a number,
Yeah,
right? But in fairness, I think that they should honor you.
I said
You're a great man.
I am a junk. Hold it. I want you to listen to me. Ronnie Butler was not a junkanoo. When they came over Junkanoo Carnival, they let Ronnie go on stage in the wheelchair as a singer, and the junkanoo man like myself, Sweet Tea, was not even recognized, and I was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, they're wrong.
So why didn't put both of us together? Why only recognizing only one right now?
They're wrong.
I love Ronnie Butler, but I feel as though one man is getting all the glory. When you look back at Blind Blake and Smokey 007, bring them back. I'm not looking at me. I'm still living.
Listen,
But let's get this thing together, because Miss Diane Phillips only honoring who she want to honor.
who Diane Phillips? She's still getting in our
She's
business.
if you look in yesterday's paper,
Yeah, I
she
see
wrote.
her.
I want
Yeah, she
Diane
was not
Phillips
a-
to
She
go
just came here.
home. Diana Phillips, go home and keep out our business.
She need to move from here because she don't know what's happening back yesteryear.
Definitely bring her here.
I performed for Donald Trump over at Paradise Island for 10 years.
Who Donald Trump?
Donald Trump, the president of the United States. I perform
you
all
and him
hotels in the
dance?
United States. I mean,
Hold on, I want to hear
and
something.
Paradise
Listen.
Island, and
Hold on. You and the president did some dancing?
I work for him.
Oh, okay.
I worked for Donald Trump at Paradise Island as one of the greatest entertainers in this country. I have some 30-some movies.
Wow.
That nobody knows right now. And Mrs. I hope
Who's your
Sabas will listen to me,
MP?
because in 2002, me and Sabas was together at BTC. I was a marketing consultant director for all the cards in the Bahamas.
You mean young
And me
Sabas?
and then Smiley Bastian, which is Sabas daddy.
Really?
We worked together from 1960
Wow.
in City Meat Market.
But you know, hold on a second. You know Sabas got Carnival, right?
But yeah, I know that. But
Well, you should join the carnival.
During the carnival,
Huh?
everybody left me behind. I was paralyzed in the bed.
Sabas knew?
Sabas they had to know because I was at BTC at the time.
Okay.
I was
But when
the
I see
director,
him, I'm gonna
consultant
ask him.
there.
Okay, because
With Eddie Master Vendors.
Okay.
When I control
But
the
now I
whole
gotta
Bahamas
let
and
you
all
go.
the whole islands in this country.
Yeah.
Sweetie, I started even.
Sweetie, I gotta let you go. And when I see Sabas, I'm gonna ask him how he could leave you at a carnival.
He's crying out. Somebody needs to pay attention to him.
Well, that's what he get for voting F&M.
He's crying out. That has nothing to do with it.
Don't tell me it has nothing to do with
being
it.
overlooked, and he
Huh?
shouldn't be. He is being overlooked, and he shouldn't be. So you need to bring it to somebody's attention.
I liked how he bought a blind bake. Dame Joan Sawyer, the former president of the Court of Appeal, and the former Chief Justice, and the woman who Menace is going to put in charge of creating socio-political problems by messing with citizenship. Well, Dame Joan and I have a crazy cousin in common. I don't want to call her name because it's family. And my family, on my ma's side, when I do certain things, it's come wrong, black religion case and carry on. Now, in the case of my daddy family, I can duck them. All right? But I can't duck my ma family. And so she and I have a cousin in common. And one morning, I went to move a house for the cousin. And when I got there, if you see the cousin, you see Dame Joan. She caught a fire in the yard. This is like around 6:30, sun almost won't break. And the next thing I know, she's turned to the little boy. She says, son, bring mama the salt. So the boy bring the salt, and she started throwing salt in the fire. So I said, cuz, what this is? She says, see blind Blake up there? They doing underhand thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Next thing I know, Dame Joan Sawyer, cousin and my cousin, sent for Titan time.
Oh, my God.
So I said, cuz, they really doing underhand work. She said, cuz, wait till I throw some of this pee.
They're trying to chase the devil. Who was the devil at the time?
And me and Joan Sawyer cousin, listen, she did more things. You hear me?
Turpentine.
And then she said, you think he wicked, Madam wicked, Madam's powerful? That is when I knew that our family, me and Dame Joan Sawyer family, is doing little things. Little underhand
Yeah,
thing.
so what was this condemning statement that you made? Because you didn't finish
My
your
spiritual
statement.
advisor, I have
You
spoken.
you need to apologize.
Listen, I have nothing
Because
to apologize
apparently
for.
the public at large seems
Listen,
to be
I have
upset
nothing to apologize for.
about your statement.
I have nothing to apologize
you don't
for.
want to correct it?
You have something to apologize. You and Miles Monroe had an intellectual debate.
Yes.
What did he do to you?
I was disappointed in him.
So you see, you have to
Yes,
watch it for me.
yes,
You see
I
how I
was-
just manipulate you?
He was dishonest. Miles Monroe was
But
was
I never
dishonest
call him dishonest.
in
I
the
merely
conversation
said
that me and him had.
that he picked a row. Listen to me. He picked a row with Fred. He picked a row with Fred. And they got into a spiritual battle. Now I finished with that.
Okay, and that was it?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so you want me to read some
Don't
text?
forget now, you and Miles Monroe had two intellectual arguments.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
One
yes.
was where?
in International Airport in Miami.
Where was the second?
And the Fort Lauderdale International Airport.
And the third?
Here in Nassau.
Right. That's all I say.
Okay, okay.
You take it from me. If I tell you that there was a spiritual battle, you take it from me because I see things. What do I do?
Go into a trance.
What do I do?
You go into
I
a
see
trance.
things, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I just told you how Dame Joan Sawyer and my cousin is doing little underhand work. Your family
Okay.
is doing underhand work. What time is it, my spiritual advisor?
It's the people's time.
When we come back, we're going to read text. Continue to open up the lines because it's Friday. It's a Friday evening. Bam! You're going to our king. Booyaka! Wayne Monroe.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is here with me. Bradley, come, give me a salute.
Circumfit law.
Okay, Bradley, welcome to Freedom March.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Monker.
Well, folks, on Sunday, if it is God's will, after I would have departed from early morning mass at St. Joseph Church, I have been extended a wonderful invitation. And so I just want to reassure Reverend Willis Stubbs, listen, I'm coming to the church anniversary on Sunday. I think you said it's for 10 o'clock. I'm going to be there. Remember the last time I came to your church, I got there before your other special guests. So, listen, I'm looking forward to coming to your church on Ruberdine Lane in Bainstown on Sunday. So, I have a friend named Marshall. Marshall, listen, if you see Pastor Willis Stubbs tomorrow, remind him that I've accepted the invitation, and if it is God's will, I shall be attending the church. My spiritual advisor, what kind of text do we have? This is a weekend, and it appears that Marvin Dame's crime-fighting strategy might be paying off. Isn't that wonderful, my spiritual advisor?
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We've had no murders, and I thank God for that. We don't want no murders, even though there was a shooting in
school.
St. Joseph Church yard. And it disturbed me very much. But it was interesting to note that today it was as if every parent and grandparent and family member came to the school to pick up the children down. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello. Hello. Next caller. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Mr. Monica, I want to speak about these one bank. I put in for a Visa card about 3 years ago.
Really?
And when I went to pick up the card, they told me I was not given a card. I didn't want it anymore. Well, let's cut a long story short.
Okay.
Last year, they was calling me and telling me that they put $4,000 on my account. I said, how could you put on an account and you all didn't give me the card? The gentleman was supposed to call me back. He never called me back. Last year, a lady called me, and I told her the same thing, and she said that she was going to call me back. Just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, a man called me. I said, sir, I put in for the card. You all tell me that you all wasn't going to give me a card.
Right.
You all didn't give me the card.
Right.
Somebody called me and tell me you all put $4,000 on my account. How could you put $4,000 on an account that I do not have?
Let me ask you, this account that you do not have, did you ever make a withdrawal?
No, this was put on about 2 years ago. I used to have a Visa card, but like I said, I put in for it, and when I went for it, they said they wasn't going to give me one.
So you never used it then?
No.
So what is your concern then?
Well, come again?
If you never use the card, what is your concern?
My complaint is that they're calling me and telling me that I owe them money when I'm going to come and pay it.
Oh. And you're saying that they never gave you a card?
No, the gentleman told me that they were not going to give me a card. But yet still they're calling me and tell me they put $4,000 on this account. How can you put on an account that I never had?
Well, what you should do, right, so as to clear your good name, go see them. Hear what they say, and then ask them for scientific evidence that you utilize it.
You Mr. Monco, I will be doing that.
Do that.
I be no longer than today. I am a government retired person.
Right.
And when I went to get money off my account, they telling me now that government didn't send me no money. I have to go say on Monday to see about this, but I know.
But check on it because the government has not been paying. You see, the bank could get away with that because the government has been grossly incompetent. All right?
Mm-hmm.
I got to let you go because they keep signaling me. Take good care.
I'll get back to you.
Get back to me, and depending on the circumstances.
Yeah, God bless the Queen.
God save the Queen, my brother. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Evening, Mr. Monka. How you doing?
I'm fine. So what's on your mind?
And evening to your spiritual advisor.
Yes, good evening. How you doing?
Yes?
But Mr. Monka got a little concern here.
Let me hear it.
Those banks, those fees, those bank charging, oh man, if you all have any idea when these fees are going to be taken out, because they are ridiculous, man.
Outrageous, yes, they are.
Well, there was a lady on our show the other day who has an organization. Perhaps if you were to go to my Facebook page, how long ago she was here, my spiritual advisor?
She was here on Tuesday.
My spiritual advisor says she was on
Tuesday.
And if you were to go to my Facebook page and look for Tuesday show, she gives a lot of information. Right. Perhaps you should become a part of the group.
I think I did listen. I think I listened to a piece of the show on Tuesday.
Right. So go to my Facebook page because I share ILS Studio Facebook page. You will be able to see the show. She left a lot of information because they have a meeting plan. Check it out and let me know what happens, okay?
Okay. And would you be on the march tomorrow?
There's a march tomorrow?
Yeah, I think.
Nobody told me.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be on Windsor Park somewhere.
Really?
No, not Windsor Park. Sorry about that. That park next to St. Agnes.
Okay, that would be the Sudden Recreation
Sudden Recreation.
But listen, I could smell a march a mile away. And if there is a march, I shall be joining it, okay?
Okay, man. You all take care, man.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Text my spiritual advisor. Text. Marvin Dames appear to quieting down the killing, which is good.
Good day, gentlemen. Spiritual advisor and Mr. Monica. The president of Bahama was on another show today, and when questioned about unions being in the Bahama hotel, he claims that there will be no need for any. Boy, oh boy, Mr. Monica.
Say that again. Say that again. Let me hear it again.
That's Mr. Davis. The president of Bahama was on another talk show today.
And he said,
and when questioned about unions being in the Bahama hotel, he claims that there will be no need
for
to
a
have
union.
unions.
Okay.
Mr. Monica, I think problems will come later. What do you think?
Well, I think that Mr. Davis will have to be told that here among the Negroes are industrial laws. He will also be told that I'm a man who sees things, hear things, know things, and will say things. He will also know that I had a problem with Bahama, and he wouldn't want me to return where I keep asking for it to go over the bow. So, Mr. Davis, I want you to do right. Don't create no problems here, because there are a lot of foreign white people, when they come to the Bahamas, they don't fall in line. All right? You mustn't do that. Or we are going to accuse you of racism. You follow? We would accuse you. And then the last time I been to your hotel, you didn't have any, what the drink I wanted?
Apple cider.
You didn't have any apple cider. And once y'all didn't produce apple cider, I put y'all to the bottom of the list. And you wouldn't want me to find an excuse to join force with my daddy family, Mr. D'Aguilar. All right? So treat the Negro workers well. Other than that, I will use D'Aguilar as an excuse to join forces with him. And what the other man name? The man who they take the hotel from?
Oh, it's Sarkis Ismailian.
It would be Sarkis.
Ismailian.
Sarkis and Ismailian is the same person, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would be Sarkis Ismailian, the Nuncio D'Aguilar, and Rodney Monker. And I ain't want much. All D'Aguilar got to do is allow me to come and wash my clothes.
Happy birthday greetings goes out to my granddaughter, Cleo. Greetings from grandmother, one of the women them in Grand Bahama.
Wow, this is powerful.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. Please send a shout out. Happy birthday to my mom. She's one of the women them. It's coming from a husband and children and grandchildren. They didn't leave any names.
Well, Mom, all over the Bahamas, whose birthday is today, happy birthday. Happy birthday to Vernon Jones from your cousin Ada. Enjoy, cuz. Is Vernon the same Jones who came out of Big Bond? Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How can the borrowing of $750 million US or any other currency by a government not part of the national debt? It's not a gift. At some point, it along with interest has to be repaid.
Who said that? Peter Turnquest? Don't forget now, Peter lost $42 million after he hired a whole idiots. Then they find it back. And then they lose it. Then they say it in the treasury where the PLP leave it. Okay?
Why you keep attacking Marlon Johnson, man?
Who's Marlon Johnson? Who's Marlon Johnson?
Good day, gentlemen. Bryland change. We got some people who ain't from Bryland and they don't want to see poor people make money. They fired all the Bryland maids and they hire all strangers. We need to march in Bryland, Mr. Monka. We need help, and our MP ain't doing anything. He only looking out for himself.
I gonna have to talk to him. Okay? I know your MP. He's a very tall Negro man, and I'll talk to him. But I need a trip to Bryland. Good morning. I sent you 2 very important videos in the WhatsApp and trying to send it to your email. Shopkey don't have the requisite permit to expand the dock, and apparently a foreign company is doing the work. The owner says that the expansion was approved by the previous owners, heads of agreement, but he can't find the documents. Frankie, you see what I'm talking about? You all have these foreign people doing up all kind of nonsense. I'm going down to Chubkey to case them out. Go ahead.
Ms. Monka, please send out condolences to the Brown family in Meguana on the passing of their brother, Freeman Brown.
Wow. Please have my sympathies. It is a sad occasion when we have those kind of family tragedy. We're sorry.
Mr. Monka, workers are being laid off on Chubkey because of John.
Who's John?
Dial.
John?
John Dial, yes.
John Dial.
He must be a racist.
I keep hearing complain about you. Please stop firing the people them. Things are tough, right? And you say you're a white man. So when you fire the Negro people, immediately we're going to accuse you of racism. You don't want that, all right? We had an incident at the beginning of the F&M reign where they went to Albany, and the white man who was escorting the prime minister, he put a little question to them, and everybody in the cabinet wrote, "You are a racist." Now he's upset, but he has to understand that we are aware of the American practices of racism. So when you come here, we ain't gonna tell you, but we'll be looking at you And we can smell a racist when we see it. All right? So I want you to stop it. All right, John? See, I like white people. I love white people. But I want the white people to operate in accordance with the law, or I can ask you to go home. I, as a man, can throw lowness. And I don't like to throw lowness at white people. You see? Because white people are some great people. Okay? Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monka. Can you wish Marvin Dames a happy belated birthday?
When is his birthday?
I think
Marvin!
It may have been
Listen,
Thursday, yesterday,
happy
I guess.
birthday. I wish you long life, good health, and I wish that you would conquer crime. I think you're on the right track. Okay? This is good.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monka. We need our web shops to look into opening banks. Our money will stay in the Bahamas. The government need to look into that. Let these Canadian banks, I agree with this. Let these Canadian banks pack up and go home. This text is on point. Good afternoon, Mr. Monka and spiritual advisor. I live in Garden Hills Estates, and it is ridiculous the way BPL is treating the residents every night.
Who's BPL?
Bahamas Power and Light.
Man, say BC and stop giving me these big names. What are they doing?
Every night and all through the day, electricity is going off.
That's because Whitney Hastings got no plan.
Oh, man.
What you talking about?
Why are you talking Whitney Hastings?
Because Whitney's the manager.
He's just arrived at the helm.
What you mean?
He's just arrived.
I don't expect, what the number man granddaughter name, who's the manager?
All right, I don't know them.
Boswick. Mr. Boswick, send me a text so I could remember what the number man name. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monka. Do you know who owned that home-based company contracted by RBDF?
What? Yes, I now know who's the owner, but I feel compromised because I got certain intelligence. All right? So I have to pray over it. Go ahead.
Let's see. Good night, Mr. Monka. From the time Mr. Franklin Ferguson wanted to throw the people them out.
Go ahead, read it.
It's kind of jumbled up.
Pass it here.
Let's see if you can read
You're
that.
covering up for Frankie. I want you to
no.
stop it.
No.
Okay?
It's jumbled. Read it.
Good night, Mr. Monka. From that time, Mr. Frankie Ferguson did want to throw the people them out. Pop time. Someone need to send up for the people. Someone need to stand up for the people. We could not find jobs, but now it is a little better now. Some of us are still looking, but now he came wrong and give the people letter to move out. Okay? I think you got the surname mix up. It would not have been Frankie Ferguson. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Moncur?
Yes, ma'am?
This is Magnus calling. I want to send a shout-out. My brother is having a birthday in Freeport, Edward Poitier.
Really?
Tomorrow.
Edward Poitier?
Yes.
I from Black Village.
Yes, I'm
and Magnus from Black Village.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
My brother is having a birthday tomorrow.
Now, you got one brother just called me, asked me my size. He say living in the United States, say all he got is clothes for me.
That's Trevor.
That's Trevor.
Yeah.
Listen, Trevor got so much clothes for me, I don't know what to do.
That's Trevor.
Okay, well, I'm happy to... When is his birthday?
Tomorrow.
Wow. That's powerful. I have a first cousin, Dr. Nigel Lewis. His birthday is also tomorrow.
Okay.
So your brother must be a great man because I know no man greater than Dr. Nigel Lewis.
Yes. Retired ASP Edward Poitier.
Wow.
Yes.
This is powerful. Magnus, take good care. I ain't seen you in a long time, eh? You mustn't abandon us in Black Village.
No. I haven't seen you from Shirley funeral.
That is true. Yeah. Take good care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Mr. Monka, I'm disabled.
Wow.
I'm a disabled lady, and my dad left the house on Andros. It is rented by a cousin of mine. I can't get my money.
Really?
My water's off for a whole year. I'm one of the woman them.
Oh, Jesus.
Help me out, Mr. Monka.
Our cousin? Goodness. Yeah. Listen, cuz. Send your disabled cousin the little rent. All right? Because I don't want to have to complain to push, what Mr. Forbes' name? The MP.
Pricewell.
I don't want to complain to Pricewell Forbes. Okay? So you must live good, all right? Okay.
Mr. Monica, you never said what happened with your insurance after leaving the Senate. Who ended up paying the bill? They said they wouldn't cover.
Well, don't forget now, I did all that dental work, and the no good insurance company refused to pay. All right? Refused to pay. But that's okay. I leave them to God. Go ahead.
Let's see here. All right.
Yes?
Spiritual advisor, I have noticed Mr. Monica is now playing chicken.
On what?
Him and his overworked lawyer, Wayne Monroe. Frankie is going to use the belt buckle on both of them frying pans, who are not safe.
You're not going to make me move before I'm ready to move. We have Frankie in focus. Every day, we are investigating Frankie. Okay? We are working between the Bahamas and Haiti. I might as well come out. I have 3 Haitians looking through the files of Haiti because I'm trying to find Frankie Haitian birth certificate.
Good day, Mr. Monica. Who was the 2 PLP contractors who was working on the post office, and the scaffold is still there and the work is never finished?
Mr. Monica, the government needs to establish defense force bases on all of the major islands of the Bahamas. Each island should have 2 Coast Guard ships patrolling around the islands, back and forth, day and night. That's one solution. The next solution is the FNM should give me the contract, and I'll patrol the southern shores. Don't forget now, the Haitian boat landed where? In Southern Shores. Who's the member of parliament for Southern Shores? Frankie Campbell.
In Adelaide.
That is not the Southern Shores?
That's Adelaide.
Is it on the Southern Shores?
It is Southern Shores.
Jesus,
but it's not the Southern Shores constituency.
I was not talking.
It landed in Adelaide.
I'm talking about the geographical location.
It landed on the south side of the island.
Now,
yes,
having established that, who is the MP for Southern Shores?
Oh, boy. Something else. Mr. Monica, the Pillen Party didn't take care of Sweet Tea, nor the entertainers who the tourists love to see in here. So let the record reflect it's the UBP and Sir Stafford. They showed more love for the entertainers. Take that back to your Black Village, you old frying pan. This person doesn't
Hi,
like
Mr.
you.
Monica. Could you send get well wishes to my grandson, 9-year-old grandson, RJ from Ginger? RJ, I didn't know you were sick. I hope that you do feel better. Keep the camera on the spiritual advisor. Let me see who's this Negro calling me live on TV.
Mr. Monica, we want your doctor to be fired for not telling the public about the TB outbreak. There's another text here that says, Miles Monroe is more respected in death than Fred will be in life. Rodney, you need to apologize. You need to apologize now. Mr. Monica, please let Mr. Brunzel know that the new policy of NIB in Crooked Island is to pay these 80 to 90 and 100-year-old persons in check is not godly. Let me start it over. Mr. Monica, please let Mr. Brunzel know that the new policy of NIB is crooked.
Really? I gonna have to talk to Brunzel.
They're paying 80 to 90 and 100-year-olds in check as not godly. Grandma and grandpa can't cash check. And furthermore,
why they can't cash the check?
No banks in Crooked Island. I don't know. They're saying that NIB is now paying these people.
But Ensabas got a number house down there?
You can't do that anymore.
I asked a simple question.
I don't know.
Sabas is supposed to have one there. The government could write him a letter and ask him to do the old people check. Y'all stop being stupid. All right, now speak about the
Mr. Monica. Mr. Monica, Mr. Monica, you hit the nail on the head with the topics you discussed, but Bahamians are not patriotic people. They care only about themselves. This is why foreigners have taken over. No one will help you in your fight to clean up the country, everyone sits at their TV screen and find the show to be entertaining.
I want you to end the text.
Another weekend coming, Mr. Moncur.
Go ahead, talk to my people.
We're hoping that our people would have a safe and enjoyous weekend.
Yes.
Serious crime is down in Bahamas, eh? Or the murder is down? Which one?
All I know is at my granddaughter's school, they shot a whole Negro man.
That's a serious crime.
And I say to the gunman, you should hang your head in shame to go to a public school and do that. Don't do that, man. All right? A school, a church. Don't do that. It's a sin. And it is a crime. And why you won't go to jail and go to hell? Don't do that. You should repent of your sin. Okay?
Absolutely. So we're hoping everybody have a safe and enjoyable weekend.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is powerful. Listen, Amber Dar is getting married, I think on Sunday.
Yes?
Yeah, Amber Dar's getting married. Okay. Amber Dar is marrying his sweetheart. That's powerful. And Prime Minister Hubert Ingram, Amber Dar say, do not forget the wedding. And it's at the Adventist Church, so it has to be on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Because the Adventists don't marry anybody or bury them on a Saturday. Listen, folks, be safe. Take good care. Pretend when people are insulting you or hurting your feelings like you haven't heard. You know? And let's forgive people. And for those whom I have sinned against, please forgive me. I didn't mean to do it. Okay? Please forgive me. Take good care. Spiritual advisor.
Yep.
God.
Until we meet again.
Save the Queen. God save the Queen. God save the Queen. God save the Queen.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Moncur, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.